all here. Such a fun adventure getting this event to get for you all today. And I'm super excited to share some stuff that I think will be really helpful for you. As we're kind of getting settled and just checking in, making sure everybody is on the call and kind of sorted, just breathe and maybe clear a little bit of the technical energy that you might have going on. I know that sometimes technology can be challenging, so just go ahead and take a couple of deep breaths. And if you're willing to, I would love it if you would just kind of send me a note in the chat and really let me know what's intention for today. What are you hoping to in the next hour together, or to be in the next hour together? So I'd love to hear what your intention is for the day. So hemming and hawing, because I'm just checking in with the technology to make sure that we're all up and working. So that's why you'll know that I'm hemming and hawing a little bit more than I normally do. So anyway, so let me welcome you all to the Spiritual Fitness Coaching Be Change event. I absolutely know in my heart that you all had incredibly good karma to bring you to the event today. I'm so grateful to all of you. I know you have so many ways of spending your time, and it's really, really precious and special that you're spending this time today. And not for necessarily just for those of us who are here on the call, but really for the world. This is really, really important, and I really want you to take a minute to just acknowledge yourself and honor yourself for showing up, because I know you have a lot of stuff going on. So context, because we're going to be talking about being change and giving you some tips and strategies on how to incorporate that into your life, I would like to invite you to try out something radical, and that is to application, turn the ringer off on your phone, and really allow yourself this element of time in your life. Your life is very precious and it matters, and investing this time wholeheartedly, I think very profound if you're willing to do it. And if you're not, that's cool too. I'm read some of your chats about some of your intentions for today, and I love that. That's really wonderful. So just quickly kind of tell you what we're going to do today, and in this hour that you're investing in yourself, because this is an investment in your life. This time is the most precious thing you have. So you're making this pretty special investment in yourself. And just to give you the layout of the land a little bit while people be coming into the call, what today's event is, I'm going to introduce you some ideas about why it's crucial at this time in your journey that you really focus on being in the to see in the world. I'm going to talk about some tips and strategies on how to be. And I know that sounds kind of vague and odd, but most of us spend so much of our time and energy doing that we don't really think so much about being. And so I'm hoping that the space that we've created together through this intention is to help us be a little bit and to focus on how powerful being is in the world. And then I'm super excited. We're going to have the fun part or the fun part of the event today is to get some coaching. And who will get coached, we'll hopefully have time for a couple of you to get coached today. And you might want to start thinking about, like, is there something that I'm kind of stuck on? Is there something that I'm wondering about what I should do about a situation? Just kind of allow it to sink into your consciousness. And if something comes up, make of it. And either write in the chat or write it down or let me know. I have Leanna joining us, which I'm so excited about. I don't know if you can hear and see it yet, Leanna, who's just coming right now. Keep talking. And Leanna, if you're having any technical questions, please go ahead and chat with Brian, and he'll hopefully help you get those sorted. I know the technology, the WebEx platform, is a really wonderful opportunity for us to share space, and it can be a little challenging to get up to speed on it. So no worries if you're having that experience. I've had that experience too, which is why I am also really delighted to introduce Brian McKelvey to you. He's my tech guru / coaching consultant. He's worked with all kinds of large corporations and interesting organizations, and if you're needing somebody to be a tech consultant for you, strongly encourage you to reach out to him because he has really saved the day for me. So I have introducing Brian as well. Thank you, Brian. So just to get back onto our event, we'll have some Q&A time. So if a comment about that doesn't really make sense to you, or you'd like it explained a little bit more, or I refer to a resource and you'd like more information about that resource, we'll have time in the Q&A for that to go ahead. And then we'll have some ideas about how to keep moving forward and how to take next steps. I really fundamentally believe that change happens both when we learn new concepts and we take action around them. We're going to do, I'm going to show you a little gift that I have that I'm very excited to share, and an interesting offer that I hope you'll consider. And we'll have a chance to make some commitments at the end of the call. One of the things that's most powerful about coaching is that it's about forwarding the action in our lives. You know, so often we can get involved in reading lots of books and going to lots of seminars and having a lot of knowledge, but our life starts to change when we actually do those practices. We're going to have a chance to make some commitments at the end of the call if you're willing to. So most who are on the call today know me. Just by way of introduction, if you don't, again, my name is Felina Danalis, and I came to spiritual coaching, I like to call the secret route. So working in international development for many years, working it for organizations like the World Bank and the European Union. On the surface, things were going, you know, I was professionally, I was traveling internationally, things were really powerful, you know, going well according to kind of the trajectory that we think we're supposed to have in the world. And at some point when I was living abroad in the Balkans, some of that really profoundly changed me. And one of my mentors Lester is one of my mentors, and she calls it her book, Broken Open, one of those moments of being broken. Somebody was killed in a car bomb in front of me, and that really major seismic shift inside of me. And so that led me onto this journey of healing and exploration, which brought me to meditation, coaching eventually. And so I've worked over the past few years with organizations such as the Omega Institute for Holistic Studies, Ford Center, and other organizations to really try to help people who have but something going on, and they're not really spending as much of their energy being who they want to be. Because I'm there, and so I completely get that. So I'm hoping that you'll trust that anything I'm sharing with you today is part of my own practice. I would never invite my coaching colleagues and clients to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. So just know that. And if you have any questions, we can talk about that in the Q&A a little bit later. So I had this intrinsic kind of intuitive understanding inside you. That title of Be the Change, you resonate with that message that we all know, which is we must be the change we wish to see in the world. That was by Gandhi. And what's powerful about that is that it shifts the focus out there and what people are doing out there, and it really makes it about who we are and what we are doing and how we are showing up in the world. Now, when I was running around, traveling all over the world, you know, meeting with these high-powered organizations, most of this was on doing. And I had these great intentions about having, you know, seeing the world have, you know, greater peace and working on environmental sustainability. I also spent years in the consulting industry helping companies become more sustainable with respect to society and the environment. But what was missing was that be the change kind of piece. And so I really want us to kind of reflect on that notion of it's easy to talk about what's happening on the outside, what's happening over there, what other people are doing. But there's a really profound shift that happens when we can focus on who we're and what we are being in the world. And I love that idea so much that I was doing some reading on Gandhi a little bit more. And I found this other quote, which just really inspired me, is that there's more to life than increasing its speed. Now, I know a person who is watching this today gets a lot done. You're smart, you're efficient, you show up in the world, you go to bed every night, and you've ticked off a lot of items on your to-do list. I know that's true. And you go to bed at night, and we kind of have this weird empty feeling like, okay, I got all this stuff done. You know, I ran around crazy a little bit like a chicken with my head cut off, but I don't really do anything joyful. So I'm to think of letting go a little bit of the messages that the world gives us about doing more and more and more, and just trusting your own inner wisdom and your own inner about how important that is to be. So here's the think about being. It's like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what that means, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying. It's like, what does that mean to be? Well, you already have this. You already know this because you're a human being and not a human doing. And I say that, and it sounds, it can sound kind of glib to some people, but we spend so much time and energy really focusing on doing that we're not really focused on what our truth is, and that is being. Here's the thing about that is you already do this. You already know how to be. I know lots of you probably have pets, and one of the favorite times for so many people is when you're just hanging out with your dog, or at the end of the day when you're cuddling with your dog that has no expectations of you, doesn't expect you to have your hair done right, doesn't expect you to be super competent, you're just kind of with you and you are being together. And there's something sacred, very precious about that interaction. Those of you who have or have had small children have had the same experience where there's those moments together with your kids, just being with them. And that's all you need. And it's a wonderful experience. Sometimes people have this experience of knowing how to be in meditation. That's super powerful. When you have an intention to meditate on a certain topic, or if you've never meditated before, please go to my website, felinadanalis.com, and sign up for my mailing list, and you'll receive some audio guided meditations that are super helpful, especially if you've never meditated before. And this sounds like really woo-woo and out there. Those are beginner meditations, and I think you'll find them really useful. So end of parentheses. But the human being, it's also about the notion of creating intention. And again, you've all had that experience of creating an intention. And you might not be conscious of it, but you are. So a lot of times you show up at work or whenever you go to work, and you have an intention. You want to be perhaps you're selling your wines to a new purveyor, and you have an intention of really you have this fabulous organic wines, and you really want to help them by giving them this really fabulous product that's made sustainably. So you have an intention which is on service, which is very, very powerful. You all have this. But it's for most of us. We all have this experience of who we're being and how to be in isolated moments. But they're helping us to do it more intentionally. That's not the correct slide. So let me find the correct slide. Okay. For that. Maybe I do have it. Okay, here we go. How do we go deeper with being? This is really important. So in your day and in your life where it resonates. If you have a spiritual practice and you've ever been to a church, some people have that experience when they are in church of just really that sense of being connected to everything. I know if I was completely humbled and blown away by the families in Charleston several weeks ago, by how they're being so forgiving and so compassionate in the face of unspeakable horror. And you see people like that, and you think, wow, like that's caring and beautiful. And so those as a function of intentionally cultivating who you're being. What can we do, though, to help us with our being, right? We have to take some action, and we have to do things a little bit differently to help us kind of internalize these processes and ways of being in the world. And I'm certain you already do. One of the most profound ways of helping us to really a way of being in the world is reading books by those people you admire. I've always loved reading biographies, and when I was younger and I was traveling around the world and really in a very different space in my life, I loved to read political biographies. I was fascinated by how people were, kind of moving and grooving and dealing in the world. And so I used to read a lot of political biographies. I was really fascinated by that. And I've even kept that habit of reading books about people I admire. And so recently, I just finished an autobiography of Sir Thomas Merton, who's a peace activist and a Trappist monk. And what was so great about reading that book was that he talked about how people have this kind of inner conflict, especially if you're naturally introverted, as I am, about spending time in contemplation and spending time doing these. And to the conclusion that even though he was flawed and even though he had all of these personal challenges and personal ways of fear-based dealing in the world, he found that integrating those two together was very powerful for him. And so for me, reading that book really kind of helps me anchor in who I want to be in the world. I want to be somebody in the world who takes inspired action, so just running around just to do stuff, but really have a purpose, and it's connected to that purpose. So reading books about people you admire in whatever endeavor is a wonderful way of connecting to who you want to be. Just that some of you may have done before is journaling. Now, I know you've probably heard of Julia Cameron's work, The Artist's Way, for example, where she talks about doing morning pages, of really spending half an hour on writing morning pages every day, of really cultivating your intentions for the day. Journaling to play with some of these ideas of who you want to be, and ask yourself that question: who do I want to be in my relationship? Who do I be when comes to me and she's relapsed in drugs and alcohol and I don't know how to handle it? Who do I want to be in that situation? Wonderful opportunity in journaling to go deeper with who you want to be, and it's a very profound practice if you've never tried it before. Again, you can I'm big on that because it's very helpful. Another way that's really great in terms of going deeper with being is thinking about the people who are your favorite people. Now, this might be here. You have a life who you absolutely adore, and maybe they were a force in your life when you were a kid. Maybe it was an elementary school teacher or something like that. But we all have those people that we have known in our lives who we really admired. And if you just kind of give yourself, think of somebody who, the first person who comes to mind, and the qualities in that person because what you will find is that it is that you see in other people your solution is really calling forth in you. So what I can speak of easily is of my best friend. She has so much integrity that she's always speaking the truth. And we live in a world where speaking the truth sometimes can be challenging, and there are consequences for speaking the truth. And I have admired her for so long because she's always willing to speak. She's always going to speak the truth. And it's a quality in her that I admire enormously, that desire for profound, deep integrity. And so I invite you to spend a minute and think about the qualities, and if you're willing to jot them down, what is it that you love about your best friend, or that you love about someone who was a mentor to you when you were a younger person? Really look at those qualities and give yourself a primer for where your spiritual evolution is going, because that's exactly what's happening. You attracted the qualities in them because they are qualities in you that are seeking to come out more. One of the ways that's really helpful also to work with being deeper is working one-on-one with a coach. I have worked with lots of clients who have never meditated before, for example, and we start working together and they find, oh wow, this isn't so hard. It's not so weird. It's not so, I don't have to be so perfect about it. And what that opportunity does to work one-on-one with somebody in that kind of context is space to be different, that you're not in your daily life. Try something else on. So somebody knows you as, he's the person who gets things done, but there's a really high cost to doing that for you. You come into a coaching session with a qualified coach, and you get to practice something different. Maybe I want to practice saying no. Maybe I want to be the one who gets things done for other people all the time because I want to something else. I want to practice greater self-care, for example. So working with somebody one-on-one, either a coach or some type of other professional, can really be helpful for moving forward with being in the world like that. So now, even though our point is off, I'll show you this formula that I use very, very frequently with people. And hopefully we can do in our coaching session that's just coming up. A lot of when we are thinking, exploring being, we have this really loud voice in our head that's kind of screaming about, well, what are you going to do? You're confused and you're stuck in relationship or in your finances or with your body image. And this kind of voice that's kind of screaming, what are you going to do here? So there's a 3-step inquiry that I found really, really helpful that you can either do by yourself, or you can do with a coach, or you can even do it in your journaling, and it's really powerful. So out a little today for whoever's willing to. So one of the first question you'll ask yourself is, why do I do this? So you think about, should I take this new job? Okay, what is your intention? Why is it because you is it because it inspires you? Look at the question of why I want to take this action, or what's important about taking this action. The next check in with yourself is, purpose of mine is this. So people kind of wander into coaching and at some point in their lives, and they've gotten all this stuff done. They've gotten married, they've had kids, they've had jobs, they've had careers, and they're common in many people's lives. Profound spiritual experience usually when it happens, where you begin to ask, what's of it all? What's it connected to? Why does this really matter? And that we work a lot with in coaching is really connecting to what's the bigger purpose that this activity is about. And then finally, in the last phase, you can check in with yourself, ask the question, who do I want to be in my life? Something that you can do at any time. You can do this at any time. Annie's daughter just came in on the screen, so I'm saying hi. But you check in with, who do I want to be in my life? Do I want to be somebody who spends time with my family? Do I want to be somebody who is flexible? Do I be somebody who cares about issues around the world? Who do I want to be? And asking that question is a really profound undertaking, because here's the gig. One of the spiritual fitness coaching is, what you do comes from who you believe you are. You can as a tiny drop in a glass of water, or you can as a wave in a mighty ocean. And you're from those states of being. invite you to kind of think about some of those questions. Next time you have a little challenge come up in your life, use this interactive inquiry process to kind of check in with yourself. You can tell me about it. You can share it with a friend. It's very powerful. It's so powerful that we are going and see who wants to coach now. Brian, if you could go ahead and unmute
Again, I don't know.
Somebody might have some background noise. Okay, so we don't want to unmute Annie, right, Annie? Okay, so how my volume? Is my volume okay now? I just wanted to double check. Great, thank you. So there's Leanna. We can see Leanna. Hi, Leanna. Welcome.
Hi. I wasn't sure what I was doing.
You're here, and that's what you're doing, and it's awesome. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's excellent. So, yeah, this is great, and we're going to go ahead and do some coaching. So, Carolyn, you mentioned that you want to get coached on today's call, so why don't we go ahead and do a short coaching session on something you might be stuck on?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can we see? No.
I'm not sure. Anybody?
No, we can't.
Let me see. Let me turn. How about now?
Nope.
I can see.
Okay. Something is happening. So why don't we go ahead and see if anybody else wants to get coached while we're waiting for Carolyn's video to come up. And if you've never been coached before, I just want to give you just a tiny bit of background on coaching. I invite you to keep in mind that today's event is going to be recorded, and so it will be on the interwebs. Please know that the topic you're going to get coached on. Many participants, I'm sure, will be facing in their lives. And the other thing I want you to know is that it's weird sometimes if you've never gone through it. So you asked questions and the answer did not come. That's absolutely part of the process, and that's absolutely okay. And if anything occurs to me, which is not occurring to me about coaching right now, let's go ahead and get started. And Carolyn, if your video isn't working, I can either go ahead and coach you on audio, or somebody else can go ahead and volunteer.
Well, I'm researching it now, so if you want someone else to go first, then maybe I can go a second.
So who's first? Come on.
You should.
I should choose. Okay, well, I'm going to choose you, Milan. Are you going to be coached today? Great. So we'll do just about 8 minutes or something like that, 6 to 8 minutes. It'll just be a really short coaching. And before we get started, since I've never worked with you before, do you need anything from me before we begin the coaching? No, I think. Cool. So what's your topic? Where are you stuck?
To decide what I want to do with my career, because I'm young and I want to go to college, but when I don't just want to go undecided. I definitely want to know what I'm planning on doing, so that what I do now and my future, and I don't struggle and I'm not lost, because I'm scared to, the wrong path.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's important to you to really make a good decision what's important to you about going to college and about moving forward in the world? What's important about that to you?
To be educated in the world, and I want to make a difference, and I want to be self-satisfied. It's not necessarily about satisfying others, but to really feel fulfilled and feel I did something great for myself, and that I can go out in the world and be proud. And that's really my ultimate goal, after college and whatever follows after that. So I know the next 4 to 6 years are going to be a big deal, and they're going to make a big difference in the rest of my life. And so I want to make sure that I go on the right track.
So profound, because what I love about that is that you are so young and you are already interested in a life of service and a life of meaningful contribution. And so I'm curious, what would like the end of your life to look like? What would you want people to say about you at the end of your life, now that you're at this stage where you're just beginning?
I would definitely want people to being happy and being really confident and fulfilled. Like, I was very satisfied with who I was as a person and what I did time on this planet, because that's really what I want, and I want other people to, and that I'm really trying to person and like make a good difference in the world, and just by being myself and being happy. I really want to.
Wow. Well, I can tell you, you're already well on your way to that, because I can already can really feel the energy you have about this, of wanting to make a difference in the world. So give me an idea of what one idea of some type of contribution you'd like to have made to the world at the end of life. So you want to be satisfied, you want to be fulfilled. Is something about there that you also want to inspire others? It sounds to me that might be there.
Just honestly, it'd be the people very personal in my life. Further with, inspiring others, be just inspire them by being myself and being really confident, and to do with my life. I want people to see, wow, like, she's happy because she really followed her heart and she followed her instinct and she did the right thing, and look at who she is. And that's how I would want to inspire others, is for them to see that I went out and made the effort to be a person and to fulfill myself, and I can try to do the same thing, because I think it's important and that now, because I know that I need to, action and being a good person and trying to be happy and be happy.
That's the most important contribution you can make is to be joyful, to be happy, as you say, and to recognize that. So I know we don't have a huge chunk of time today, because this is such an exciting exhibition that you're having in your life today. So I'm going to just blurt something out here. What's really important to you? What are besides being happy, what's really important to you out there in the world that you want to be different?
I just use, honesty and love and respect. I have these different views that, really resonate, and I really want to keep them, but
interrupt you here. This is something that we do in coaching, because we don't want to get too much, and I'm just going to blurt here something. Honest and loving and respectful. What is something that you can do that can help you embody that today?
Well, being positive and really pushing to, and, my family, or say something positive, or give a compliment, those things are what make me happy inside, knowing that I am leaving a positive mark on somebody, because it makes me feel better. And so I think, be to,
Perfect. So that's today. And now I'm going to coach you, and I'm going to introduce you to something that we call a challenge, okay? And you can say in any time, and this is for anybody else who gets coached by me, you can say yes to the challenge, you can say no to the challenge, or you can make a counteroffer, okay? Is that okay? Great. My group is for next week. You intentionally say 3 things to people in your life. Is that something you'd be willing to do? So how do you know that you've done that? Well, know that you've done that.
Talk to you, next week or 2, and just let you know how it went, and how it made me feel. And
so here's my challenge. I'm going to up it even more, Milan, because I know you're ready for this, okay? My challenge to you is to do these 3 loving things with people in your life right next week. And on Wednesday, post our Spiritual Fitness Coaching Facebook page and let us know how that went. Is that what you'd be willing to do?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great work. It's been, you give a lot of hope for the future of our planet, and I'm really excited to have a chance to coach you. Thanks. So go ahead and get coached next. It can be on a totally different topic. It can be on something similar. We're going to this call today. We all have the same stuff going on, and the details might be a little bit different, but this is your chance. So,
do you see me now? Do you see me now?
yes, I can.
Okay. I'll be coached
Are
if
you
you're
ready for
willing.
your turn? Okay. Okay, that's great. All right. What's going on? Where are you stuck?
I have not gone to do anything active today, even though I planned on it. I try hard to force myself to do things active workout-wise, and I come up with 8 million reasons why not to do them.
Intuition is that you're not the only person on the call who may have this issue.
I don't know, but I know I'm not the only person in the world.
This is a great topic. So ask something. Why is it important to you to
Basically, I totally get it. I know that when I do it, I feel better. I know that it's healthy. I know that it forces me to be healthy in other aspects of my life. Like, I know all the logical reasons for doing it, then I come up with 8 million reasons why not to, and feel guilty about it later.
So let's leave the guilt there for a minute, just to kind of hang out and see you kind of stuff for the moment. It's important for you to exercise. What value of yours is that connected to?
I mean, my health, and as much as I can eat well and drink a lot of water and do all that kind of stuff, if I'm not I'm missing out this huge piece of it.
And being physically active and being healthy is important.
Well, I'm grateful that I'm alive, I'm in decent shape. Like, I'm grateful for all those things, and so I'm not honoring that value of gratitude by not taking care of what I have.
Tell me more about your honoring your value of gratitude. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, like it's like if I handbag and then trashed it, or I read a book and dropped it in water. Like, I was given something, or I received something, or bought something, I would take care of it. But taking care of myself the same way I would take care of something or someone else. I mean, if I knew someone by calling them every day, I would call them every day. But I know for me to like go for a walk every day, but I'm not doing that.
that is that I can really hear it in your voice. Is gratitude is very, very powerful for you, and you are somebody who has a word. It sounds pretty amazing life. Yeah, yeah. What do you two?
Like, I have positivity as a, strength finder strength, or as a value for myself, or something I exhibit on. So I feel really positive about things, and I know I would feel generally more positive if I were making, pushing myself to be more active.
So you have positivity as a value, you have gratitude as a value. Tell me what's important to you. Because what I'm getting from you, Carolyn, is that care of honoring other people is profoundly important to you.
Yeah, I think connection is probably my number one value. Like being able to connect with others in large groups or in small and one-on-one, like having connection is what drives me to literally do everything. So
yeah. So when you think about having human interactions and the connection to your family and your friends and your community,
I mean, leave the first, leave like other as best as I can. Obviously, I try to do that. I don't always do that. But for people as fully as I can be.
Yeah. So if you tried to be fully there for Carolyn too?
Yeah, that's a great question. Respect and like emotional.
So when you give your commitment to somebody else that you're going to do something, you're going to do a project, you're going to help them, you're going to go pick up their dry cleaning.
Yeah, I
done, right?
Let someone else. I purposely let myself down in this time.
Yeah, yeah. What if you wanted to embody more higher purpose of authentic connection with everything around you, your values of gratitude and positivity and the world around you? And what if when you get up in the morning and the idea of going to the gym comes to mind, you spend a minute really reflecting on, why is this really important for my life?
I mean, to create a sense of urgency.
Okay, I like that. So you tell me, what would help you create a sense of urgency for your exercise and working out?
Well, for today, since I'm already dressed and ready to go, I will tell you that I will go for a walk right after this is over. But I also want to be able to sustain it. If I told you I was doing something, I would go do it. If I didn't tell anyone in my plans, it's easy for me to be like, oh, never mind.
So I'll go ahead and give you a challenge here. And my challenge is going to be, if you're willing to take it, and you can say yes, no, or you can counter offer. My challenge is going to be that you go to the gym today, and when you get back from the gym, you let me know. Okay. Is that something you're willing to do?
Yes. And can I also ask you to hold me accountable for this next week?
Absolutely. So here's
I'll text you in a week.
Here's my counter offer. Why don't we allow the whole community to support you in your endeavor? And I'm going to ask you if next Wednesday you would be willing to post on our Spiritual Fitness Coaching Facebook page and tell us that you committed a challenge and you completed it. Is that something so that we can support you and we can all as a community help keep you accountable? Is that something you'd be willing to do?
I'm totally in. I'll text you today and I'll post next week.
Awesome. Okay, that's great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Carolyn. So I'm so glad you guys got to explore some coaching with a couple of people. And now we've got some time for Q&A. I know a lot of topics have come up that might resonate or not resonate with you. And I'm just wondering if anybody has any questions. hang on, guys. Mind if you wouldn't mind, okay, I just told you to unmute yourselves. You are muted currently. Okay. Can everybody hear? Can you wave if you can hear me? Okay, great. So, any questions about what we've talked about today?
No, I know.
Who said? And
I have
Somebody say something.
yeah.
So I talked about the pond versus the wave, right? Or, you know, that energy.
Yeah.
And I've lived most being that wave in that ocean that, you know, do. And I'm finding myself over the last year being a ripple in the pond, and I know that it's what happens now. And the wave's going to come back. Is it going to come back, or do I have to just be in this pond, and do I just need to just be, you know?
Great question that is. Thank you for that. Now that's
Sure.
I feel in my heart how you, and I know everybody else on the call can connects with that. So about being a wave in the ocean is about what there is in the world. It's that you're not alone, that you are supported. So you are supported and you are connected to everything. The example, the analogy that I use, actually, it's interesting. You thought it was a ripple. The analogy I used was you can think of yourself as a wave in the ocean or a drop in a glass. And then I use that example is because a drop in a glass is by itself small, and it's kind of all disconnected from everything. So it's really helpful, I think, when you're thinking of being a wave in the ocean, it's trusting that wherever you are in your life, are having an impact, and that you are connected to everything else. You know, sometimes we get into spaces where, especially if we've had some pretty big accomplishments in our lives, like I know you have, to think that that's the only way of having value in the world. And I really would love it if you would consider this perspective of you are part of a wave. There are big waves and there are smaller waves, and they're always changing, but it's connected to everything. And so your actions don't come from this really small, depleted place of, oh my gosh, I can't take anymore, it's too much, one more thing. Come from this open-hearted, expansive region that I have the resources that I need to show up in the world the way I am asked. Not the world necessarily the way I want to be, but if I can just trust the wisdom of the ocean, the wisdom of this process, I'm exactly the way I'm supposed to.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Thank you.
Awesome, Leanna. If you go ahead and send them to me in the chat, you can do that too. Yeah. Okay. One of the that I just got, which was very cool, was attention for today is about learning more about living in the moment, and I love that, and that's powerful. You know, just having an intention of living in the moment is great too. So we have questions if anybody has anything that you want to bring up. And the thing I want to say about this kind of forum that we're all in, we have collective karma. Okay, and that really means that there's something very special about the intention created by the people who are on the call today. So if you're thinking of asking a question, but you don't want to, or you feel uncomfortable about it, can you please wave? Okay, You guys are so awesome. I love this. Thank you very much, because it's a little challenging. So what I was saying though is, if you have something that you're thinking about that you're not clear about, and you share it with the rest of us, probably many of us have thought about, feeling difficult about going to the gym or decisions I want to make next in my life. So you benefit everybody else if you have any questions. Okay. Coming in. Okay. That was somebody just trying to raise your hand? Okay. Okay. Do you have any more questions for the moment? Yay! So one of the things I wanted to tell you about, though, that's really great is you can feel free to interesting is happening with my technology, so just give me one moment. Brian, and it's all fine. Okay, so I want to just go ahead and let you know of some stuff that's going on here that I'm really excited about, and if you're interested in, I can tell you more about it. But I'd like it if you just know that based on our conversation today, feel free to email me at felinadenales.com or onto the Spiritual Fitness Coaching page on Facebook and ask any questions that you have. I really want this to be an opportunity for us to create an intention of being a powerful community that is intentional and not just about getting more stuff done. I already get a lot of stuff done, but we're mindful about what we are doing in our lives. So I really encourage you to reach out to me in whatever way you feel comfortable. I'm excited to present to you a little gift and a bonus that I've got happening right now. So if you liked what you saw today, I strongly encourage and invite you to go onto my website, felinadenales.com, and sign up for your own special gift of your hour-long coaching session. So this is a really special gift that I love giving to people, and I know you all have the karma of being here for a very, very profound reason. For whatever reason it was a serious one that brought you to the call today. And so if you just get on to felinadenales.com and go on to the special gift page, I'm happy to give you an hour-long coaching session so we can explore more of the topics that we talked about today. We can practice meditation if you want to. Whatever you're looking for around the world, we can go ahead and do that. And if you do that within the next 72 hours, I have an extra special bonus. If by Friday at 12 noon Pacific time, you do go ahead and ask for your hour-long coaching session, you'll get 15% off my Be the Change coaching package, which is a 3 to 4 month intensive, really wonderful opportunity to really get into getting more joy and fulfillment in your life in a way that's most powerful for you and your family. So I really would love to encourage you to do that. That you think might be useful to you. All you need to do is just do that within the next 72 hours, and then if you want to go ahead in the autumn or at some other point, that 15% discount will be applied for you. So I think that's really kind of cool. And finally, to wrap things up for today, here comes the juicy part. So you've been listening, some of you have gotten coached, some of you have asked some questions, and I'd like you all to give yourself this opportunity now. Let me know what intention of yours, of who do you want to be, are you willing to share with us? One second, I'm trying to multitask, and that's really not my strong suit. So if you're willing to, let me know, let us go as a group, and we can each individually, either you can send it on, or if you're willing to, you can go ahead and put it on video. And to really, really be bold, I'll invite you to go ahead and post it on the Spiritual Fitness Coaching page on Facebook. So what to bring forth from what you learned today? Don't be shy.
Today I learned, I have to focus and being present and really focusing on what I can do today and how it can be positive and meaningful to me. And so today, I'm definitely going to focus on, being present, with the way things are today, because I can make any very large changes in my life today. It's baby steps, and so I'm really just going to focus on being positive and loving and spending time with my family and feel doing that. That's the best thing I can do today.
That's awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your intention with us. Who's next? See who's unmuted right now. Okay.
It's
You,
Carolyn.
please do.
I intend today to be as kind to myself as I am to other people.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, hopefully we can all do that today. That could be a joint intention for everyone here. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Carolyn. Who's next?
I'll go with my daughter when she's comes to my intention today, because I'm always very impatient when I'm trying to get stuff done. So it's her summertime, so she wants to say hi too. What's your intention? I should do that more often. Put her on the spot. Maybe she'll make her way.
I love it, Annie. Thank you so much for sharing that intention with us. And you are being the change in your own life and in your own household. So thank you for sharing your intention with us.
Thank you.
On myself as much as I do 3 other children.
Yeah, great intention. Thanks for sharing that, Leanna. I love it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Anybody? Okay. All right. Intention that you didn't have a chance to share, please go over to the Spiritual Fitness coaching page on Facebook. Like this if you would like to the event, and you'll automatically be signed up for the next time we do a group coach event. If you're getting out of today's session, I would love it if you would write something in the comments on the Facebook page and let me know what you got out of it, or if you thought it was helpful, or what intentions you want to create. And if you find out more, please always feel free to drop me a note at Felina@FelinaDenales.com. And if there's any way I can continue to support you, if you know more resources that we can that maybe I touched on today, I'm always happy to share those. And for those of you who would like to receive a copy of today's presentation, go ahead and post that on Facebook if you're willing to, and just ask me to, and we will make sure you get a copy of today's presentation. Okay? Thank you. It's been a wonderful time spending with all of you. I'm so grateful that you've all been here. And my intention for the day is to joy that you've all brought to me and bring it into the rest of my life as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Thanks, Lena.
Neela. Bye.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Fabulous day.